Hi everyone, let's talk about Minigolf Designer, which again is on Kickstarter right now. Link to the campaign page in one of the corners and in the description, and I was paid to make that playthrough video. So I was drawn to it just by the theme, really. Really like minigolf. Maybe it's to do with various Simpsons episodes, or holiday camps and their little minigolf courses. But yeah, I'm just drawn in by that. But beyond that, there is a really nice, tricky tile laying game going on here. You are trying to satisfy so many different conditions that you are trying to weigh up these conditions and penalties and what is most important for you to go for at the time, all while having quite limited information. You only get the tiles that are available next round. It's there's a lot to end up placing. You'll end up placing about 30 odd tiles, 40 tiles over the course of the game. But the rounds, I can only speak from a two-player perspective, but the rounds do go by very, very quickly. You have three options between you. It's one more than the number of players that are available for you at the time, and you're weighing up, the different criteria that changes as well. The tiles become more or less valuable. People are always worth points, but sometimes benches are, sometimes flowers are, sometimes tunnels are, based on the scoring cards that have come out at the start of the game. You're trying to weigh up what points the tiles will get you, but they also have potential points by the par value that a certain golf course tile will give you, and if it will put you in the special green zone. You want your holes to be in a certain par range to qualify for bonus points. You want all of your holes to have, a putting green and a tee, so that they are viable golf holes. You want them to kind of form a circuit around your golf course so that people can get around easily. There are all of these things building up, and yeah, I think it works just magnificently. And you get what is satisfying in most tile laying games, to see all of your work building up, and at the end of the game see what you've achieved and look at everybody else's and have a laugh at the strange situations you've ended up putting yourself in. This is fantastic for doing that, because hopefully, if you've played well, you have each gotten these different golf courses, and you can see the different ways that you've gone, whether you've gone for just straight tee and putting green just repeatedly and filled it with a load of scenery, or if you've gone for long and winding holes. So yeah, I think all of that works together really, really well. As I mentioned, it is a longer tile laying game. Maybe that's just a perception of it. I'll say that it's definitely not a downside for me at all, because I enjoyed it. But yeah, you're placing a lot of tiles, and definitely earlier on, you are trying to build to these blueprints and things, and especially it's on you if you've gone for a more difficult blueprint, but you need to keep in mind where gaps need to be, where water needs to be, and that does add challenge to the game, but it is something to be aware of. You can mess yourself up, and if you go outside those lines, it can be worth big penalties. But yeah, for all of these things that you are laying down, for the number of them, as I mentioned, especially at two players, just whizzes by that you are weighing up all of these different things and where to put them and everything, but it never got to a point where, and I'm a pretty AP prone, analysis prone player, where I can get stuck on decisions. But yeah, we found that it went quite smoothly. I wasn't holding the game up as I usually might do. And yeah, I think they're the only things that would maybe hold you up. That there was a lot to kind of juggle, and that it's up to you if that's too much or not. Hopefully the playthrough will help you make up your mind on that. That there is all of these scoring criteria to kind of keep in mind, but you can just think about certain ones, especially in the advanced variant where you have promise cards, where you kind of make a bet on the ones that you will do best, and as long as you did the best at that category, you'll get a load of extra points. If you didn't do the best, you can potentially lose a load as well. But yeah, there's different scoring criteria to keep in your head, about 6 or 7 things, and you might get penalties for all these different things. But I think what it mainly comes back to is you're rewarded for building a good, viable golf course, and your penalties are mainly for going wrong, for putting 2 putting greens on the same hole, for not having 9 holes, for putting hills that go in the wrong direction, so people wouldn't be able to play there anyway. It's there is a lot out there, but it's always out on the board, and it's pretty intuitive what these things are. And yeah, I've just had a great time with it, which, for when you are kind of drawn in by the theme most of all, it's especially satisfying to know that there is a really solid, enjoyable game on the other end of that. But hey, you'll probably get a better idea of whether you personally will like it from the playthrough, rather than whether I'm going to like it. And that is there, linked in the description, and at the end of this video probably, if you haven't seen that yet. I'm going to go and talk about another game now. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye.